Fire it up, sister.
That's my sister.
Oh my god. Hi.
That's my sister. Not me yelling at the top of the pod. Hi.
I mean, we might as well get everybody's ears acclimated early on.
Hey, I mean, if I'm not puncturing my own ears, I don't know whose ears I'm puncturing, Is that something that normal people say?
No.
Yeah, probably not.
Puncturing
Yeah.
eardrums.
It's true.
I thought you were talking about like piercing.
Oh yes. No.
Did you pierce your own ears?
I went to Claire's. I got a Claire's lobotomy. And I know. And then my ex-girlfriend, shocker, and I sat in my 99 Chevy Tahoe 2-door LT and tried to gauge them out into
I feel like you've told me
zeros.
this.
Yeah, it was I was 16. Like, what do you want? No, I was 18. I was 18.
And that was God punishing you in real time.
No karma, just real-time punishment.
Real time.
Yeah. So how objectively, how are you?
I am objectively pretty fabulous. I'm excited that tomorrow is the giving of thanks.
Are you giving thanks?
I will be giving thanks. I will be eating. The girls are eating.
Have I shown you this meme? Or have you seen this meme before of it's giving thanks?
This fucking the internet was a mistake.
So for the listeners at home, it's a turkey that used those dressings on the legs, those like white fluffy dressings, and they're like pleaser boots. And then she's got the it's serving lips, eyelashes, and nails, and it's like, and she's also in a thong, and it says it's giving ... thanks.
Do you want to know something that is going to be really hard to explain? I was reading the user manual for my microwave last night. And it said that you put pieces of foil on the end of chicken bones so it doesn't burn them.
Interesting. Okay.
So that's why it's giving, at least according to a cheap microwave user manual. I was trying to figure out if it had a humidity sensor. It doesn't. Anyway.
Microwaves have humidity sensors?
Some of them do. That's how, if you ever see one that's, I'm so excited. If you ever see one that says sensor reheat, or like, that's how you know if it got a good popcorn button, because some of them are just timers, but some of them, there's even microwaves with microphones in them that listen for the pops, so you don't have to. Isn't that fancy?
No way. I did not know that.
Technology, girl.
That's cunty. That's
anyway,
so
I digress.
Yeah. So cunty.
Did we get any questionianas?
We did. We got, I forcibly DM'd some of my friends, and some of them actually came in naturally.
Solicitation.
So I solicited, it said no soliciting here, but I didn't read the sign, so.
Because you can't read.
Yeah, so on tonight's episode, well, actually, before we begin this Q&A session that we're raring to do, I did want to shout out, ironically, there are two Tonys that both have last names that start with C's that have contributed to the podcast. Thank you guys very much for donating. I don't know if they know that they both are named Tony with a C, but it happened, and here we are.
Tony C's, we love you both. If you are one person that's paying twice, we love you twice as much. But if you are, in fact, two separate people, we love you each separately and organically.
Period.
Organically?
What Chris said. What's Chris
organic
said.
Love?
I love organics.
Anyway.
But just to kind of as a show of good faith, I am putting all of the money that we're getting from our contributors back into the podcast to then advertise our silly little pod on Google SEO so that we can
Yes.
get more listeners. So it's going right back into the podcast like we promised. So
Oh
it
my
is
god,
not.
that's investment. That's growth.
That's growth, and that is not embezzling, and it's not going towards my Botox or your nails. So
Is it embezzling if you
you
own the
stick your
business
face
that
in it.
doesn't exist?
It kind of exists.
I mean, we don't got an LLC.
No, but we've got a www.com.
Why don't we just
Okay.
skip to the next part where
Why
you
don't
tell us this next new fun exciting thing that we answer?
Yes. Okay. So, I thought it cute to kind of play a Q&A with our followers, and so I have enlisted the help of my Instagram to use that little question bubble, and
Mm.
we're going to answer some questions tonight. And I have also given up on using my phone as a camera because the lag between the audio and the video side of it is so egregious that I'm like, I'm done. I'm over it. I don't feel like
Your
figuring it
brand
out.
new cell
And
phone,
yeah,
your brand new iPhone. There's a
yep,
lag between video and audio when you record things.
there sure is.
Ew.
And I can't figure it out. So, all right. We might as well just like go down the list.
How are we going to
So
do
we'll.
this? Are we both answering, or are you like? Because you have the questions. How do you want to do this?
Okay. I'll ask the question and then you can answer and then I will follow up. How about that?
Beautiful. Okay.
Okay. All right. And I'm not gonna name names either.
Okay.
For anonymity's
Anonymous.
sake, because listen. Like I tell the straight men on these apps, I have no interest in outing you. And then they end up blocking me anyway.
You should just open Sniffies and be like, "Hi, I'm recording a podcast right now. Is there anything you want us to?"
Is there anybody in particular you would like for me to shout out?
And they'll be like, "Conversation deleted." Anyway,
No.
first question.
Oh my god. All right. Do y'all shop around for gas prices or you don't care too much?
Interesting. You
Hmm.
know, I will like pay like the lightest bit of attention to the price variations, but I am far
Hmm.
more interested in getting top tier gas. So
Hmm.
like going to a station that has top tier gas. There's a quick trip near my house that I just default to. I don't care if it's fucking 10 cents more expensive than the one down the street.
Okay. Okay. Do you think that I've heard that apparently if you don't get gas from the same gas station company like Exxon, BP, like whatever, that it might run like say you get half a tank from Exxon and half a tank from Shell.
Hmm.
Does it run differently or does it? I mean, I think that's kind of a wives' tale. I don't really find any validity to that.
I mean, they're probably blended like a little differently, right? So I don't think it's fair to say it would be exactly the same, but at that point it's like all mixed together, right? Like
Mm,
it's not like there's a divide down the middle of the tank. Like that's the gas over here from Shell and that's the gas over here from like something that's not fucking Shell. Although, you know what I
sorry.
was watching recently, and I will not make this last too long, is if you go and you buy non-ethanol gas, but the pump is shared with ones that have ethanol, like you are definitely getting gas with ethanol in it if the last person bought gas with ethanol in it. But the I put non-ethanol gas in the 1990 Accord because she ends up like being in Miss Garage for a while, and the quick trip that I go to has a separate pump and handle for non-ethanol gas.
Sheets
That
does
didn't
that.
answer your question, did it?
No, but it alluded to the same. It's along the same lines, I think.
Nina's
Um,
over your shoulder like a tiny little evil girl.
I know she's like sitting on.
It's
She's
so
like a little parrot.
cute. Yes.
Um, so I like you. I don't pay any
Mm-mm.
attention to the gas prices. I'll be like,
Mm-mm.
oh, over there it's 389. Over there it's 388. Oh my god, wow. I actually have a Sam's Club membership, and then
Mm.
I literally just do that, like because it's so cheap. It's more than likely cheaper, but because I Uber too, Uber does give me discounts on gas. I prefer
Oh,
Exxon.
work.
but I do get similar discounts via Uber, but that's only if I'm working. So
That's cute. We're just shopping for gas on vibes, basically.
yes, gas on
Yeah,
vibes.
gas on vibes.
Um, okay. If you were a dad, what car would you buy your kid if money was no option?
If I were a dad, what car would I buy my kid? Money no object.
Does being a daddy count?
Yeah, but what kind of kid do I have? Like, are they a little piece of shit? Like, are they like well
I love how you
behaved?
led with
Like,
that.
I'm okay. I'm gonna paint a picture because any child of mine is gonna be cunty, right? Like, I will not accept anything less. So why don't we go with cunty daughter? What would be a cunty daughter car? And I'm gonna pretend that she's a straight A student because
She's just
she's
like
obviously perfect.
She's like giving Daria vibes where she's like could not care less, and she's like
Yeah, she's everything I could not be, right? She's perfect, but she's deadpan. Um I don't want it to have a back seat because no fucking in the car. You can fuck
okay,
anywhere else, but no fucking in the car. So it's gotta be a two-seater.
okay.
I mean, I'd get her an SL63 AMG. Let's be real.
That is so specific.
Why?
No. But doesn't don't those have V8? So aren't you worried about the speed?
No, because like she'll just crash or not, right? Money's no
Yeah,
object. I'm just buying her another one.
true.
She's
Yeah,
spoiled
well,
in addition to being cunty.
right, right,
What's her
right.
name? Oh my god, let's name my imaginary cunty child.
Um, uh, is, I almost said
Uh
Zaxby's. like
How was that the part that was the funniest?
I
Oh
don't
my
know.
god.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Um well, my imaginary cunty daughter Zazbys. Hey. God, the dogs. Okay. Okay. We're gonna say a quick little prayer to Christ because we need him right now. Because what what just happened is not holy.
What have
I'm
been talking
trying.
about a girl named Zaxby's?
we oh, I needed that laugh so desperately.
um.
Um
Okay.
beep. Okay, next. What would your car for your child be?
Well, I think because I have been called an alpha male in the past, I think that I would probably want to have a son.
Mm.
If I were to have a kid. Um, Also because I would want to do better to my child than my dad did me, leaving that out. But um, and and so I would probably. I mean, when I was a kid, I wanted a CTS,
Mm.
and I didn't get it until my third car. Which I mean, whatever. I was spoiled, but um, I would
Like I
probably.
didn't get it until my third car. Anyway.
I would probably and maybe it's because it's at the top of my head, but honestly, probably a Volvo S60 Recharge. Um,
Ooh.
because it's like Volvos are tanks. Um, the recharge like with the gas saving, and then like the and it's fun. It's fun to drive and it's safe. So
Mm. I That's a very respectable vehicle and you know, safe driving
What would
is
my kid's name be?
generally.
What is it? What's his name?
I wanted to say Burger King. Why did it have to be another fast food restaurant?
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god.
Is there a gas leak? Is
Oh
there
my god.
somehow
Okay.
2 gas leaks at once?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's move on.
Next question. God, there's tears in my eyes.
Um. If lesbians have Subarus, what do gays have?
If lesbians have Subarus, a cultural phenomenon, but also
That was
embraced by their
manufactured
own.
by Subaru.
I'm about to say, by their own advertising agency / whatever.
Yeah.
So what's a car that is just like, you see that and you're like, gay?
Well, according to the now dead
Mini
Top
Cooper.
Gear. Okay. Well, when I was growing up, one of my old friends that brought me to school, he had an IS 350 and and it was his, but he was like, "This is a gay car," but he wasn't.
But you know what? It's either Lexus ISs are driven by gays or they're driven by middle-aged women, and it is that black and white.
My middle-aged therapist drives one. She drives one.
And there you have it. God. But no, I firmly believe that the Mini Cooper, albeit an excellent vehicle, I do quite enjoy them. Name a straight with a Mini Cooper. You can't.
Name a straight man with a Mini Cooper.
Name a straight man, period. You can't.
It's so true. What would I say? Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna. It's either that or like BMW, but it's in the BMW family anyway. But I just like gays love
BMW
a fucking
X5.
3 Series. X5 or a 3 Series. It's one
That's
of the
true.
two.
It's T. It's all T.
It's like and it's definitely not the X3 because it's too small, and it's the X5 or the 3 Series because the 3 Series is just a staple. So because they want something that's iconic, and the X5 is iconic because they didn't know what to do with it at first, and it was kind of like an off-roading girly, and now it's turned into more of a posh wagon. Whereas like the 3 Series has always been that like sexy. I mean, they just want something. They either want something like really cute or really sexy or both. And so I think that is I'm saying they like I'm not a homosexual, but like
my present company excluded homosexuals.
Yes.
Yeah. I resonate with that. I can think of several gay men with BMWs.
All like in college, like they all drove fucking like all of my gay friends in college. I was the outlier with the Cadillac, but like they all had fucking BMWs. Like it was just
with like 17 different warning lights on at once.
You know what? No, they actually took very good care of their cars. I will give them that. Also,
Okay,
I had a BMW at one point, so like I am in that crowd, right? Like I mean, I had the Z3. So
this is true.
And I want an M3, so
we're looking inward now. The call is coming from inside the house.
It always has.
It always has.
All right.
I forgot my water glass this time.
I'm out of sparkling water. I'm pissed. What are your thoughts on the new Honda Prelude concept?
Ooh, spicy. Okay, so I think like a lot of people, I first thought this was going to be like a competitor to the GR86, the BRZ.
Hmm.
It has since been revealed that it is a front wheel drive hybrid, so that is
Hmm.
not the case. Um, I mean, okay, so like interestingly, no Civic Coupe right now, no Accord Coupe. Those were things that were mainstays for quite a while, right? Um, the personal luxury coupe, a concept that is kind of like pretty old now, except for like some really like higher end BMWs and Mercedes, among others. I think there's room for a little like kind of sporty, not necessarily like out and out like track attack thing in the market. It kind of makes me think about like my Scion TC. You know, it was a coupe with a Camry engine that was like not particularly sporty, not particularly like cozy either. Um, I I'm like cautiously optimistic. I think she could be at least a little playful thing, if not like super sporty, like a lot of people wanted her to be.
I think that's a very good answer. Especially because, like, I mean, with the Super too, like, it's very much like it's coming back into style, that like coupe
Mm.
luxury little coupe thing.
Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but I also like it's hard to like it's almost it to me. It's kind of like a sequel that nobody really asked for. I mean, and the same thing with like the Integra, right? I mean, like the
Mm.
Integra. Well, I mean, like, yeah, they brought it back, but it's like a Civic at this point, and it's like,
I mean,
I
she was
mean,
like parallel to the Civic back in the day, right? I like that they're bringing
no,
back names, actual names, right? Like, I
they're
mean, those
bringing
companies have
back.
been using them, but
Well, I guess my point is that like the original Prelude is so iconic for so
mm,
many reasons in terms of like just design and like the fact that you had almost two that you had 200 horsepower out of a like a little 4 liter, like it just uh,
a
and
4 liter.
a 4 cylinder, excuse me. And I do think that it emulates the old, because I'm coming from it from like a design language standpoint. Like
Mm,
I do think that it does emulate the prelude of old, but it obviously does look a little bit big. It looks a little bit
mm,
bigger, but then I think that on the back end, like it's so Prius. Like it is so Prius in the back end. And it's not to say that, and it's not to say that I'm not excited about it, because I
mm.
am, but and I am also glad that it's not going to be fully electric and that it will be a hybrid. I appreciate any company that doesn't dive headfirst into full electricness just yet, and especially like these legacy badges, like
Mm.
that they're not, like certain companies want to like dive headfirst into it. So I do at least appreciate that. But I like the front end. I think they've definitely modernized it, and yeah, that's all I've got.
Cute. Yeah. It is interesting to see, like, I feel like a topic, just to touch on something you said, a topic in the news lately is like, oh my God, EV sales aren't what we thought they would be. Like, and it's so, to me, like this push pull where like some companies are like, all right, yeah, like we're doing that. We're
2030,
doing, right, we're
2030,
doing
we're
this
having full
crazy,
EVs.
right. And it's just like a lot of manufacturers, a lot of people. Let's talk about like the people that are buying and driving cars. Like so many people, present company included, are driving pure internal combustion engine vehicles, right? Like I think it's gonna be bridging the gap with those hybrids. So
There
this
are
makes
some
sense.
that are driving. I mean, there are people within our age range that are driving EVs, but
Yeah.
but they are only Teslas, and they're 2 years old Teslas. So that it's not like they're going out and buying brand new Teslas, and they're mostly Model 3s or Model Ys. And so, but that's also because like the network of charging is so reliable. I mean, it's to the point that like all of these like major news outlets are coming out with these articles that are like, what the charging infrastructure has been uh
Ranger just grabbed a toy out of his crate and squeaked it right behind me.
keeping that. The charging, these articles that are coming out about how neglected the charging networks have been. And so, I don't want to get into it too fully because I will go down a rabbit hole with this, but yeah. So bottom line, yes, excited for the Prelude. I hope it's not an Anchorman 2 situation where like nobody really asked for it and like it wasn't really good anyway. So like,
T.
yeah, moving on.
T.
T. T.
The
I'm gonna smash my laptop in half. I swear to God. Um,
Next question.
is it pink?
Oh, I asked that one.
It's not. Next. Well, no. If I paid $400 for an oil change. Did I get ripped off?
Does it give any other information?
No.
Yes, you got ripped off. I mean, like if it's just an oil change, right? Like that's absolutely asinine. But if it's one of those things where it's like, we're gonna change your air filter, we're gonna dust off your windshield wipers because we're not going to replace them. We're going to inspect every speck of dust on the underside of your vehicle, and that'll be $672.32, please. Like if it's one of those things, then I can see that being a service cost. But if it's literally like you rolled up and you're like, I want the oil changed, oil and filter. In my opinion, if you're paying more than $150 on a premium brand vehicle, absolutely not.
No, totally. And even then, like, I don't need all of what you just mentioned either. Like all of that, like, I mean, the only time that I would need that is if it's something that I don't feel like I could get to, like, or want to.
Yeah.
But an oil change should cost what, like $50, 60?
I feel like these days that's about a normal-ish price for like a standard-ish vehicle.
Okay. Okay. Well, whoever you are, I'm sorry, and you should probably maybe go somewhere else for your
I think
oil
that's fair.
change.
I think that's fair.
Um. Okay. What's the most underrated vehicle? Now, I think we could probably narrow that down because I do think that's a bit general of a question. Maybe like of all time, maybe of on the road right now. I mean, what do we think? How do we want to phrase that?
The most underrated vehicle.
It kind of sounds like an all time. It's giving all time energy.
It's giving all-time energy. Does something come to mind immediately for you?
Um,
Because I've got one.
Underrated. My first thought is the Pontiac Aztec, but obviously that almost like kneecapped the company and put them under. Um,
That could be, it could be underrated and kneecap. It could be a Maimer and underrated.
yeah.
That was a series of words.
As somebody said on my TikTok the other day, you sure are tripping on your words today. Like, get the fuck off my
Somebody
page.
commented on that TikTok of me polishing the wheel and said, "Could be better. Good job though." And then and then somebody replied to them saying it looks the same, and they were like, "Ignore this guy." So I'm like, "You're defending me, but also you said that like my shit could be better." Like,
Literally, one of my followers said that to me too. So I'm like, hello.
make it make sense. But are you sticking with Pontiac Aztec?
That's really the only thing that I just think Pontiac as a whole was underrated. I just think that like maybe they didn't maybe it really wasn't as good quality. Maybe it really just by the especially by the end like and it wasn't. But I do think that the
Mm,
Grand Prix was like one it was one of my favorite sedans growing up. I
mm,
mean, my dad had a lot of cars growing up and that was one of my favorites just because it just felt futuristic. It
mm,
was tough looking. It had a pretty decent V6 in it. I mean, I loved that thing.
mhm.
So I think I will just say Pontiac as a whole.
That's T. I think I have to agree with you. I think Pontiac made some interesting stuff. I often repeat that I think that GM brands have some really fantastic engineering, and then they just make it too fucking cheap. So T.
T.
What a nice dovetail into actually since we first started this, I've been thinking the Chevrolet Volt.
Oh my god! Oh my god! How could
Like
I forget? Do you know how many? That is like a cult classic at this point.
literally, like the people that buy them love the
Are
fuck out of
obsessed with
them.
them,
And rightfully so. Like I feel
and
like
they
she had that
axed
secret
it.
sauce.
They
Yes, they
axed
axed
it.
it.
What?
Because what does GM do? I mean, this is a GMT hate fest at this moment. Like, love you, girl, but also what? Like, what are we doing? Like, they got the thing kind of just sweet spot with it was like 50 or so miles of EV only range before the generator kicked in, and with that second gen model, and then they cut it. Like the first one, I think was interesting. They improved a lot of things with the second generation.
The first generation had a lot to be desired. I think, but I think that the second generation, the first generation was so like the buttons were so big and like they were so cheap feeling. But the second generation was it. Like at that, the buttons were amazing. It felt futuristic. I loved the
Uh huh.
sounds. It was what Prius wasn't at the time. It was doing what Prius couldn't. It was offering power. It was offering range. She had the range. Um,
It was like Prius Prime before Prius Prime. Like, and maybe
yeah,
maybe not all the way, but like I think that was a really compelling car. It's one that I've considered purchasing before. I feel like that's the kind of thing that you could do. Like 99.9% like of my driving could be in the EV only range, right? But I could still throw a tank of gas in it and drive across the country if I wanted to. Like I feel like it is. The
sorry, my
fuck is
Alexa
that?
is reminding me. Alexa, stop it.
Why does yours speak like a man?
Because I turned on the man because I'm gay.
Do you make him say nasty things to you?
No, I don't. But I did make him remind me to exfoliate. Can we just move on?
Completely lost my train of thought. Maybe we should move on.
Just something about the vault and how incredible it is, and fuck GM. Just kidding. Just kidding.
The Chevrolet Volt, underrated,
I
loved
think
in our hearts.
I think that is what that we can absolutely come to that consensus. Okay.
Yes.
Um. But top three things to look for in a quality car. That's a very smart question.
Top three things to look for in a quality car.
Do you not like that question?
But like used car, new car.
Let's go new car.
Okay, like three features, attributes, blah blah blah, to look for in purchasing a new car.
This is a very general question. We could skip this one. This seems very general.
Yeah, let's skip it because my brain is fading out anyway.
Yeah,
How long have we? Oh, we've been going for like 35. It's not bad.
yeah. Um, F Pace SVR or Cayenne GTS Turbo.
Oh
Neither.
shit.
Neither.
Okay, but you have to pick between the two.
Don't make me.
I feel like there is something that I do love about a Jaguar, particularly a JLR V8. Um, I feel like the Cayenne's probably better.
Yeah. I don't even know why you're debating in your head. My immediate thought is for the Cayenne.
Well, there you have it, girls. That was
There
the
you have it.
easiest and least
That
disputed
was
question of the evening.
I mean, look, the Jaguar looks it looks insane. I mean, I love the way
And
it
I'm
looks,
and the
especially
sound and the engine sound like amazing, but
100%.
I just
And I
it's
think that that is the only. I personally think that the F Pace is the only one that out of all of them that actually looks like a Jaguar, and I think it's because of how big it is.
mm.
Um, and you know, especially with their new-ish design language, like yeah. Um, okay. Um, ooh, I just need a reliable car to get from point A to point B. Does a i4, well, they put V4, but does i4 or V6 or whatever, does that matter? It depends. Can I start this one?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it depends. I think it depends on what size car that you get. And I think that, like, for example, like some cars are not even going to remotely even have a V6. Like you know, an Elantra, that's not going to have a V6. It's going to have an i4.
Hmm.
You know, if you get I mean, most cars nowadays, at least the standard ones, mostly only come with four cylinders anyway.
Mm.
So it's kind of that what you're going to be getting with a V or a straight six is going to be kind of on the higher end anyway.
I think this is actually very interesting because you immediately went to new car and I immediately went to used car, which I feel like is
Well,
very
girl,
much our
that is very on brand for both of
that's
us.
very much our things, right? So that question was like, I just want a good car, V6 or four cylinder.
So, but then okay, yeah, give the used point of view then.
I feel like the default for me, if somebody that did not know shit or fuck about cars, that just wanted a cheap car that they could pay minimal attention to, minimal costs, you name it, go get you a Buick, a Pontiac, something with a 3800 in it, the 3.8 liter. That's the
The
girl in that Grand
V6.
Prix. Yeah, like she is the moment. She will never die except for that one very specific circumstance where it'll hydrolock itself if you don't change that intake gasket. We're going to ignore that. But those things are like fucking cockroaches. Like, go get you a 96 Buick, period. Like, it'll be $1,500 for the next decade. It's like a forever stamp. Like, it is, nobody wants it except like 54-year-old men,
And
and they're
you.
dying.
And you.
I'm like talking myself into it as we speak. Like the air is going to be colder than our rapidly melting ice caps. It's going to somehow get 30 mpg. It's going to make no sense, and it
Right.
won't die. You
And it
could run
won't.
it full of cat piss in the crankcase, and it would be like, this is better than our OEM spec.
Well, and I know the person that asked this, and they have a cat, so they.
That is renewable resources at its finest.
Well, if I could touch on like the kind of moderately newer cars as well. I mean, so like the difference between like my four cylinder or the four cylinder in my Chevy compared to let me restart. The difference between the six cylinder that I have in my Colorado compared to the four cylinder in this outgoing gen
Mm.
is just like light years in terms of difference. Like there is so much more capability in my six cylinder than the outgoing four cylinder. Now, again, like I said earlier, like most
You mean
cars
the new
now
four
have
cylinder?
no. I'm talking about the outgoing one. So the because my generation Colorado had the four cylinder, the six cylinder, and then the diesel four cylinder.
Oh, I didn't. Even,
And
I guess I didn't even realize there was a gas four cylinder. Okay.
yeah, and it was
What
not
was her
tur- it was
displacement? Do we know?
not turbo. It was like a 2.5, 2.4. Um 22 Colorado 4-cylinder. 2.7. Actually,
The
I
outgoing
thought
one.
the outgoing one had a non-turbo. Oh, no. Wait.
That's the new
Oh,
one.
oh, that is a new one. Shit. Okay, so it did have a turbo diesel. It
It
was
was a
it was an iPhone.
2.5.
Yeah, it was 2.5. Okay. Yeah, so the difference between that one and my 3.8 or my 3.6 my
Mm-hmm.
3.6 V6
Mm-hmm.
is astonishing. I mean, between get up and go, tow capability, and I think if I could, oh, the same thing goes for like the outgoing CTS, right? Where it's
Mm.
like where they stopped making those in 2018, I think. Um, the 4-cylinder is so choppy on that body because the body is just so massive and it's not very smooth. Like it like placates being smooth, but it's like really not. Like it's just not.
Mm.
But then you put that V6 in it, and holy shit! Like the difference between those two. And the other thing is that the gas mileage might not always be better just because it's got a smaller engine in it,
T.
especially if the body is bigger, just like in these Colorados now. I've got that 6-cylinder at my best. I get 30 mpg. At the
Mm.
best on that 4-cylinder turbo that they've strapped 13 turbos on a watermelon, like you so famously said. Like it only gets like 24, 25 on the highway.
Right.
So it's just
There's also, I feel like there's something a little bit more to that you've, like touched on in describing that, is that historically American four cylinders have just not been as refined, as smooth in their like NVH or even like power delivery
yeah.
as like Japanese. I'm gonna gloss over European because there's some that I am not particularly enthused with from them as well. Let's just say like Japanese brands. Like let's think of like Honda. Let's think of Toyota. Those kinds of things.
Toyota makes one of the best 4-cylinders on the fucking market.
The girls have been doing it. They've been doing it for so long. So I feel like if I was to be seeking a vehicle with a V6, I mean, obviously there are some fantastic ones from the abroad girls as well. But I would be more inclined to go V6 from an American company if the alternative was a 4-cylinder. I probably would not be as divisive if I was seeking a vehicle with either of those options. All other considerations aside, if it was from another brand.
Well, and I mean, like the inline six in the BMW is like it can either be like a dream powertrain or it
Mm,
can literally rob you blind. I mean, it just
correct.
depends on what you get,
It
and
depends.
it's such a fucking toss up that you literally can't even uh, look at what I just pulled up on my fucking Instagram. See God, I'm telling myself
Christ.
that. Christ, I'm about to sin again.
Oh my god.
I said I love you to that man, but I'm not feeling him. All right.
Why don't we answer one more and then will you wrap us up? I'm fading
Yeah,
fast.
yeah, yeah. No, it's fine. Hmm. All right. What if you could pair up any two automakers for a collab, who and what would they make? That's a great
Wow.
question.
That's a fabulous question. That is very
And I
thought
know you listen
provoking.
to this. I'm not going to say your name, but I know you listen to the pod, so thank you for this question.
Oh, thank you, person that he'll tell me who you are later. Uh Two automakers
They make that
to
sound when they make the car together.
that's the boardroom. That that is what I imagined that Toyota and BMW were doing in the fucking boardroom. They're just going
Oh, we We make some of the most popular cars on the planet.
Uh... God, fucking kill me.
Kill me.
I feel like I want to see. Okay, but you know what's funny? Like, if you even think of like historical rivals, right? But like GM and Ford have collabed on like transmissions for like quite a while now.
Well, and then
Um,
GM distributed that transmission to like half the fucking planet.
uh,
That
so I'm
Ford
thinking,
that 4-speed one.
which one?
That 4-speed transmission was in like the BMW Z3, the Range
Oh
Rover.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking
Oh
about.
my
Yes, you're
god,
right.
it's in everything.
But I want to see the world burn. What do I want to see collab? It's funny because like I was gonna think like something very unreliable and something reliable, but like Honda and Rover already did that, and that was a spectacular failure.
Wait, they did?
Um,
What did they do?
like the Sterling cars, and there were British Rover cars that had Honda components in them in like the early '90s. Um,
Oh my god, I do know. How do I not know about this? What?
because they are fucking weird and obscure. I would want to see.
This is such a hard question.
That's really difficult, isn't it? Okay. I'm thinking. I want to see specifically. I'm going to be so specific.
Okay.
The SRT team at
Okay.
Dodge, Stellantis,
Uh-huh.
whomever.
Yes.
I want them in the room with the Prius people, and I want to see what the fuck they come up with.
Okay.
Worlds at odds.
That's like an LC with like 1,000 horsepower. Like
And I'm sure it would be cunty.
that would be like that new Lamborghini that is like it's got like a super capacitor in it.
It would
That's
be
what that
like
sounds like.
tech, power, efficiency, anger. I'm living for it.
Self-flagellation. I was trying to say self-flatulation. I was trying to make a South Park
Farting,
reference. Anyway,
tooting your own
um,
horn.
horniana.
All right, so who's going
Um,
in your boardroom
I was going on in my boardroom. Um,
besides the two men from earlier today?
One man, 2 hours. Yeah,
I thought it was
we wait.
two.
We waited all of 10 minutes to go again. I was like, "There's no way I can do this." Then, in like 30 minutes later, I'm coming again. I was like, "Hello,
She got a new wave.
girl. I am rejuvenated. I am replenished."
Her
Um,
testicles empty. Her hole full. So we're cutting the last 30 seconds.
yeah, we absolutely are. Um, um. Oh my god, I don't know. I mean, because my first thought is BMW and Honda, and so I'm thinking like that. But my
What about Mercedes and Honda? Because BMW and Toyota.
sorry, no. So my first thought is Mercedes and Honda. It was
Mm,
Mercedes. I just
got it,
so
got it.
my first thought was Mercedes and Honda, but I feel like that's too similar to BMW and Toyota. But I feel
Mm.
like also maybe they do need to make something to kind of be like, hey, f you Supra. You know what I mean? I don't know. But then I'm also thinking that Fiat needs a turn because Fiat needs something cooler. I don't know.
Fiat is like overlords of cute and spunky. So,
What if Smart and Fiat got together and it was just so fucking cute
and it
that
was
like
so cute
everybody
that we just all die.
and we just all died and everyone just simped over it and it was just
You know,
Yeah.
I was talking with my good girly Kevin Williams about this, about how he sent me a text about how in other countries they call subcompacts like a super mini. And isn't that
Mm.
cuntier than like a subcompact hatch, like or just like a
Yes, I
hatchback?
don't. I like Super Mini.
So cuntify the small car, right? So like Smart, Fiat, get together, give us something so fucking cute, so fucking absurdly just you just want to and that needs to be
Now I
the
know.
small
Okay,
car.
I just had a thought. I know that Bentley and V Dub are like one and the same, like in the
Mm,
Audi group, but or in the Volkswagen group, I guess. Um,
mm.
but I'm thinking like a long nose Beetle, like a Rolls Royce long nose Beetle, like with like a W12, like a Beetle that is like. So you want to talk about like cunty, like cuntifying the Beetle. So it's like and it's still got like no back end, but it's just it's like really long nose. It's like really long front end.
I desperately want to see it, but that is a sight. The mental image I have. Perhaps we need to dig into the Photoshop and just see how ridiculous that would look. But I respect it. I respect that chaotic energy that you're bringing to the pod today.
Yeah, I think we're both bringing it, and
Yeah.
that is why this podcast is called Fun Girly Car Time, because we bring unhinged, gay love.
For
I
only
need so-
$4.99, you too can support a mentally unstable Chris in need.
Two of them.
because
Two
there's
of them.
two of them. There's two of them. Oh my god! Well,
All right,
on
Sistine
that,
Chapel.
you're telling me a cis teen built this chapel? On that note, thank you guys so much for listening, and thank you for the questions. Thank you all of you for submitting your questions today. We really very much appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. We'll do this again if we run out of ideas, or just in general, because we need to interact with our listeners more. And so, please don't forget to rate, comment, and review on any and all platforms, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, uh, and the others. And because that is very important. And then thank you, special shout out to our YouTube listeners and watchers. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on there. And then, of course, our contributions are open and we are getting some hits. So please keep those hits coming so that we can further boost this podcast and achieve the minimal fame that we're looking for. So, we offer 99 cents, $4.99, or $9.99 a month, and you can cancel at any time. There is no contract. You can go right onto the Spotify page and pick it up and help us out with that. Other than that, yeah, that's about it. Please help us. Help us.
Please.
Please contribute however you can. We very much appreciate it. So thank you guys very much.
Yes, thank you.
All right, logging off now. Bye-bye.
Bye.